Well, the temperature really dropped compared to our last video, but you know what that means? We're making ice. Let's go grab the ice house and get it in the garage and go through that to see what kind of fixes we need to make before we hit the water. Looks like we had a four-legged friend come visit us last night. The snow is fresh, so I can tell that these tracks are brand new. Looks like they were maybe chasing some rabbits. We're gonna see if we can't maybe do something about that. All right, here we got my clam flip over ice house. We're gonna drag that into the garage, get it warming up, and see what kind of shape everything's in and what kind of gear we gotta fix or add. So we'll be ready for the season. I also have that ice house over there. That one's quite a bit heavier and way more permanent. So I usually wait till we got about 20 inches of ice before I drag that one out. Alright, get my jacket off, it's getting a little warm. Let's check it out. So far no mice nests, that's a good sign. Take you guys inside with me so we can see what we're working with here. I think I'm seeing some evidence of mice. Well, no plan is foolproof. Anybody that knows me knows I despise mice. And unfortunately, I haven't found anything to do to combat them living out in the middle of nowhere. Rod bag looks to be in okay shape. Seats don't look to be all tore up. That's a good sign. That doesn't look to be too bad either. We might have fared okay. Let's get some lights in here and check it out. So despite what people might tell you, I don't actually get all that much time to get out and fish. So when I do, I like to make sure I've got some basic gear. One thing I have is a Garmin Striker 4 fish finder. I bought this because I also do a lot of fishing out of a kayak. So the cool thing is that it saves all my waypoints in whatever body of water I'm on. This is one of my favorite little lakes that I like to hit. So as you can see, I've been all over in this one. It's a good little time. I'll probably take you guys out there first when I get going on that, but yeah, so since I don't get a chance to fish as much as I'd like, I use a fish finder and plotter so I can try to see what's out there before I get there. And then I'm charging the battery right now for my camera. So this kind of gives me an idea of the water temp, water depth, all that good stuff. And this goes for my Markham Technologies camera. So I can drop this down the hole and that'll show me what's underneath. So getting the battery charged up for that guy, and I gotta glue the sunshade protector back on. I try to keep the same batteries for everything. So I make sure I get the same size, same voltage, everything for all my electronics. Alright, we talked about the electronics. Now let's go through some of the other gear. I always make sure I have a good fillet knife. This is a Cutco fillet knife that I got from my father-in-law for Christmas a couple years ago. So it's got the extended blade, super sharp, awesome knife. Love this thing. It's been really good. Comes apart so you can clean it. Snaps together. It's got a sharpening stone for hooks and for the blade itself, and they claim it's got fish grabbers. They don't work that great. I've tried it and not worth it. So I do have a Lunker Lock fish grabber. These grippy gloves, I started wearing these fishing because this is what the commercial guys like down in the Outer Banks and everything everybody uses. And so they're not waterproof, they're not real warm, but they give you a little grab, so if you're fighting a fish in and you get it close, you can get a pretty good grip on it. Fishing plier, gotta have one of those in case the hook gets away from you. So that's some of the gear I have. Now we'll go look at the house a little tackle box. Can't ever have enough lures. Keep my rods in here. Well, one of my problems is I've always carried way too much gear, and I mean, it's been the story of my life. I'd rather have too much than not enough. So got a whole nother set of rods right here, because you never know, somebody might want to go with you. So I like to have extra, so that way if somebody wants to come with, they all, you know, their chances of having a good time are a little better when you have extra gear. Gotta have the heater, and got a couple of these refillable propane bottles. I'll have to get them topped off before the season. And then in here I keep a shovel, because you're always shoveling slush out when you're ice fishing. I got a nice fan light combo that hangs up top here, and I can keep the air circulating. A little tripod stool, again, in case somebody comes with. These are anchors for the ice house, because in the wind up here, it'll blow this thing all over the place, flip it over even. I've seen guys get drug across a lake. I run a K-drill early in the season for light ice. Hook it up to my Milwaukee drill, and it'll get you going through most of the holes. That's a hole cleaner for my Jiffy 10-inch auger that I carry for late season when the ice gets super thick. I got another bucket here that I've got big thick ice cleats for grabbing traction out on the ice. My crampon style. Got my Grundon's fishing bibs. This is my bucket that I put on right when I get to the ice. It's got my spikes for, God forbid, if you fall through, and an extra hat. So I keep that one close by because it's the first one that goes on. Got my stiffener poles. Everything's good to go there. I like this thermal hut. It with the quilted liner, it really makes a big difference keeping you warm, but the biggest difference is it keeps the moisture down low. Out here, when you have it where you got the heater inside and then the super cold air on the outside, anything that touches this just turns to condensation almost instantly. With the thermal house, it gives you a little better insulation layer so you don't get rained on in here. and then always have your air vents so you can kind of adjust to keep the airflow circulating. Sorry if the video quality ain't the greatest on this. It's hard to take videos inside a dark house like this, and the dark house will make sense when I get you guys out on the ice and show you what I'm looking at from in here. But I'm gonna clean out the bottom of the tub and repack everything, and we're gonna be ready to go. Might possibly hit the ice next week. We'll see.